Hi everybody, so today I'm going to talk about how we can make boring old major 7th chords sound cool and why they're actually a little bit weird. Hi everybody, welcome to Just Our Scrapbook. Please feel free to like, subscribe, recommend to your friends, but probably the ones who play jazz guitar. Today I want to talk about how this boring old thing can be made to sound much more interesting and to make you fall in love again with the sound of major 7th chords. Quiet as it's kept, the major 7th chord is not actually a very good tonic function chord, right? The main thing that really is up with it is that if I sing an E flat, the root of the chord over an E flat major 7th chord, I get this. Ya, ya. It's tense. That's the note it wants to go to. It wants to go to the D, right? And this is kind of the way it's sort of set up, because we're stacking thirds. But if I put the E flat on top of the D, we get this kind of inherent dissonance to it. Now, dissonance is not necessarily a bad thing. It might be if you're doing traditional big band arranging, in which case the advice is usually, please don't write a major 7th chord under a root note. Don't do that, please. Actually, there's certain contemporary players who embrace this sound. For instance, Jonathan Kreisberg talked about it at a workshop, how much he likes this kind of thing, where you have this kind of dissonance. One way we can really start to lean into this weirdness is actually if we just take our basic drop 3 shape, which is this thing, start to break it up, and you can extend this through the chord. I'm not being terribly scientific about how I'm doing it, it's just, seeing what sounds I can come out with by taking, 2 notes out of the major 7th each time. This is a nice one, the major 7th, the interval that gives the chord its name. It's also nice. There's a lot of 6th, but there's also that, the grit in the oyster, perhaps. Okay, another thing we can do is if we start inverting these chords, we're going to find that particularly the third inversion, or if I do more conventional voicings, the third inversion particularly has a real dissonance to it. The second inversion and the first inversion are fine, but that third inversion, very much not the same thing as that. Okay, so it doesn't even really invert into itself very well. Okay, it's quite interesting too. And if we start to try different voicings, for instance, I love these voicings. Some of them sound really quite unlike what you might think of as a standard major 7th sound. Drop 2s, drop 3s. So on, right? So I'd really encourage you to play around with those different voicings and see which ones you like the best. You might be surprised. Another quality of the major 7th chord, which is very useful to us, is something which we can observe in the Melodies of Misty, which is just a G minor triad. Doesn't do the E flat. And again, the reason for that is because yeah, we don't want that. It's very dissonant, right? So, especially when you sing it like that. So if we extend out the sound of the G minor triad over a few octaves, then we have this what we might think of as the good notes of the E flat major 7th. You can also make voicings out of it as well if you want. Where this really comes to life is if we add in, from the point of view of G minor, we add in a 4th. So in this case, the C. And this is the 13th or 6th of E flat major 7th. Or we can do that to the chord shapes, so we get these nice voicings, which do sound a little bit more modernistic. But if we use that as a melody, we get this interesting quality, which is we actually have this quartal triad of 4ths. which is really cool. The notes are D, G, and C. Okay, we can go further with this. We can turn it into a G minor pentatonic scale by adding another note. And this particular is G minor pentatonic, right? So we're adding in an F. Okay. And you can also make voices out of that if you want. Okay. And you can go further than that and add in the flat 5. There you go. So hopefully you won't be stumped for things to play on an E flat major 7th that sound really cool ever again. Thanks for watching. Hope you find it useful.